안녕하십니까 여러분 들어오세요. Welcome. Hey Chaos. I call you guys Chaos these days. It's very catchy. 어서 들어오십시오. Welcome. So this is gonna be another live streaming with KSTYLEyo for practicing learning reading Korean. So we're gonna read Korean today using this article that I found on naver.com. So you can find the link in the description box and study on your own time. This article was very interesting. It's because it's news to me. I never heard this before. And I'm also curious about like a phone popularity amongst us as well. For me, I've been using Samsung phones since I was a kid, I guess younger person. But always been Samsung. Yeah. I think one of my friends lent me one Apple phone and I just couldn't use it for more than a day. I just returned it back to him. I cannot use Apple. I'm so used to using Samsung. Apple is actually more complicated for me, but I guess depends on the person. People use Apple because they love the brand. It's very clean and it's user friendly, but for me it didn't work out. But today's article is about LG, which is one of the competitors in the phone market. But I think that Samsung is more like the competitor with Apple more than the LG. But LG does take some of the market share in the world and certainly within South Korea. But this article is about LG having a discussion of not making phones anymore. I think literally what they're saying is withdrawing the phone business. Let's see what happens. So today's article is something interesting for people who like using technology and phones and how the market is flowing. So welcome everyone. So let me know if you can see this article. And I have picked 4 sentences today. Each sentence is a bit longer than yesterday's article, so I have picked 4 of them, and then the second one is the longest. Please have your pen and paper ready because it's a highly interactive learning. So if you like learning Korean with me, make sure to hit that like button to help the channel massively. And also try to engage with us in the live chat. If you have any questions, just leave your questions in the live chat. So either me or somebody amongst us will help you out. So the first sentence that I have picked 이거예요. 처음 거요. 보이시죠? 여기서부터 읽을게요. LG전자가 휴대폰 사업 철수를 검토한다고 밝히면서 국내 이동통신 업계가 긴장하고 있다. LG전자가 휴대폰 사업 철수를 검토한다고 밝히면서 국내 이동통신 업계가 긴장하고 있다. 한번 천천히 읽어볼게요. LG전자가 휴대폰 사업 철수를 검토한다고 밝히면서 국내 이동통신 업계가 긴장하고 있다. Try to understand the intonation and where I pause. LG전자가 휴대폰 사업 철수를 검토한다고 밝히면서 국내 이동통신 업계가 긴장하고 있다. For those who are in the lives for the first time, subject is orange, object pink, verb blue, and is miscellaneous work in green. We're gonna go through each word. Underline each word. 그러면 주요 동사가 뭡니까? 여기서 주요 동사, main verb. 보이시나요? Main verb goes at the end of the sentence. 그쵸? 그런데 고 있다는 뭐야? 고 있다. 고 있다는 part of grammar. This is ing tense. Present progress tense. 그쵸? 긴장하다. 이게 주요 동사입니다. 긴장하다. 찾아보세요. Be nervous. 아니면 tense up. You can think of it as tense up. So who is tensing up? 주어가 뭡니까? Who is tensing up? We have different subject particles here. Subject particle 가. 이건 LG전자. Electronic. 전자 means electronic. LG electronic. This is subject noun. And what else? I see another subject particle here. 국내 이동통신업계. 보이시죠? 이거를 발음을 할 때 국내라고 하지 마세요. 국내. 국내. Naturally. 국내. 국내 이동통신. Mobile communication industry. So you can think of it as communication provider. The industry within the country. 국내 means domestic. So this is also a subject noun. But we need to figure out if this subject noun related to this verb. Okay? How about this one? Is this subject noun related to this verb? When there are two subject nouns in this case, think about, maybe there is a conjunction. Conjunction, verb conjunction. 국내, domestic. Domestic. 내 has the meaning of inner. 외 has meaning of outer. Okay? 국외, overseas. 국내, domestic. 국 means country. Is there any conjunction that you see? 이거 보이시나요? 면서. 면서. while. 그쵸? while. 그러면 이게 동사입니다. 동사. 밝히다. 밝히다. Sounds like K here. 밝히다. 밝히다가 뭡니까? 사전으로 찾아보세요. 밝히다. 이거는 reveal. Reveal something. So maybe this verb is related to this subject. LG Electronic reveals. What? Reveals that. This is that. Connecting another clause. This is another clause, right? This is quotation. Reveal that. Reveal that what? 휴대폰 사업 철수를 object. 휴대폰이 뭔지 알아요? 이거는 Konglish. Konglish. 밝히다, I think it could be lighten up, brighten. Look it up. I think we may also say 불을 밝히다. Light up the light. 불을 밝히다. But here is like reveal. 휴대폰은 Konglish, which is cell phone in English. 네? 사업, industry. 철수, withdraw. 그러면 검토하다가 뭡니까? 검토하다. 찾아보세요. 검토하다. This is review. But I think we've gone through each word here. LG Electronic reveals that they are what? Reviewing cell phone industry withdrawal. Meaning they're not gonna do any cell phone business. While that's happening, while this is happening, domestic mobile communication business is what? Tensing up. 그러면 this subject is related to this verb. 그쵸? 밝히다 verb. And this second subject is related to 긴장하다. So when there is a conjunction like this, it's hard to distinguish which may be the main verb. But we know for sure, at every sentence in Korean, verb goes at the end. So we know this is for sure a verb, but we cannot tell if there is another verb separated by conjunction. So if you know conjunction, it's very helpful. 이해하십니까? LG전자가 휴대폰 사업 철수를 검토한다고 밝히면서 국내 이동통신 업계가 긴장하고 있다. 질문 있으시나요? 스마트폰은 그냥 한국 사람들 스마트폰이라고 해요. 스마트폰. 우리도 스마트폰이라고 합니다. 휴대폰은 그냥 셀폰. It could be smartphone or it could be just cell phone. 아, 핸드폰이라고도 합니다. 맞아요. Cheryl? 맞습니다. They're interchangeably used. 휴대폰, 핸드폰. 맞아요. 그러면 2번 문장으로 갈게요. 이게 가장 어려운 건데. 아, 그러면 3번부터 할까요, 사실? 2번이 가장 어렵습니다, 이번에. 그냥 3번부터 할게요. We gotta warm up, Bobby, right? Warm up our reading. 아, 그러면 잠깐만요. 이런 상황에서는 여기 있습니다. 찾았어요? 오케이. 여기 보이시죠? 이런 상황에서 LG전자가 스마트폰 사업을 철수하게 되면 삼성전자 쏠림 현상은 더 심해질 수밖에 없는 구조다. 이런 상황에서 LG전자가 스마트폰 사업을 철수하게 되면 삼성전자 쏠림 현상은 더 심해질 수밖에 없는 구조다. 다시 천천히 읽을게요. 이런 상황에서 LG전자가 스마트폰 사업을 철수하게 되면 삼성전자 쏠림 현상은 더 심해질 수밖에 없는 구조다. 아, 핸드폰은 hand. Konglish also. 핸드폰. 셀폰입니다. 셀폰. 손으로 받죠? 전화를. 그래서 셀폰이 핸드폰입니다. 그러면 여기 동사가 뭡니까? 동사는 뭐가 있습니까? 이거 보이시나요? 다. be verb after object that ends with a vowel. So this is be verb. 구조는 structure. It is structure. 그럼 is there another verb? Just like the previous sentence, is there a conjunction? conjunction 보이시나요, 이거? 아, you're asking if we call headphone. Is there such thing as a headphone? Don't we call it as a headset? You know, the headgear that you wear to listen to music? Headset. 헤드폰은 전 못 들어본 것 같아요. 면, if, 그쵸? 이거 보이시죠? 면. 되면, 이게 동사입니다. become. Something becomes. So we need to figure out subject. 네? 주어 보이시죠? 여기 LG전자가 LG Electronic, 삼성전자 쏠림 현상은 another subject. Samsung Electronic 쏠림. This is actually a noun converted from a verb. 쏠리다. 사전에는 이렇게 나와 있어요. strain, deformation, 현상, condition or phenomenon. Think of it this way. If you put your head upside down, your blood goes down to here. How would you say that in English? Your blood goes into the one spot. It's the same thing in Korean. We say 쏠리다. 피가 쏠려요. P is blood. 피가 쏠리다. Goes into one area. So they're talking about Samsung Electronic goes into one area. So they're getting more power. Phenomenal. 알겠죠? I think we found one subject noun and another subject noun, but we need to figure out if this one is actually related to this verb and this noun is actually related to this verb. But it may not be. Okay, let's start with the beginning. 이런 상황에서 이게 뭐죠? This kind of or this 상황에서 situation, time particle. In this situation, LG Electronic 스마트폰 사업을, 한국 사람도 이렇게 말하죠? 스마트폰. 사업, business, object particle. 철수하게 되면 이게 뭐예요? 철수하게. This is adverb here. Most likely, if you see K as the last syllable of a verb, this is most likely adverb. I'm not gonna say 100%. It's the same thing for English. ly. If you see ly, most likely this is an adverb. But lovely is not an adverb, it's an adjective. So there is always an exception. 철수하다가 뭐라 그랬죠? withdraw. 철수하다. 철수하다, withdraw, becoming an adverb. So even though in Korean structure it makes sense, but if you try to use it in an English structure, sometimes it doesn't work. How would you make an adverb for withdraw? Withdrawally. Is there such thing? No. But think of this structure as a grammar. In English, I often interpret it as what? End up verb ing. Or it could be adjective, depends. End up verb ing. End up what? Withdrawing. Yeah? End up withdrawing smartphone business. 다시요. If in this kind of situation, LG Electronic ends up withdrawing smartphone business, then what happens? Samsung Electronic string phenomenon. 더가 뭐죠? 더 들어봤죠? more. 심해질 수밖에 없는. 이거 보이시나요? 심해지다 verb. How would I know this is a verb? 알 수밖에 없는. Do you see a grammar? Can you catch it? 알 수 없다. 알 수 없다 by itself, can't. But 밖에 없다. I think I have a video about this. 밖에. It also has a meaning of except. So how am I going to interpret this? Yes, can't help but. 맞아요. Rachel 맞아요. Or there is no way except something. Depends on the context. Whichever makes sense in your head. So another example. 어쩔 수 없어요. Korean people say that. 어쩔 수 없지. So there is no other way except to do this. I can't help but to do this. 어쩔 수 없다. There is no solution. Here, 심해질 수밖에 없는. There is no way except it gets what? To get severe. 심해지다, to become severe. 심해지다, to become, to get severe. But they have more here. Is the severer. severer. 그러면 we have another verb here. So now we have to think. Oh, now it gets interesting. Is this subject related to this verb or this verb? Samsung electronic strain phenomenon becomes severe. I think that makes more sense. As you can see, this part 는 makes this entire verb structure adjective describing 구조. So this, do you see here? This could be adjective clause. 리가 없다. 네, 맞아요. 리가 없다. So all vowel. So it's the structure where Samsung electronic strain phenomenon becomes severe. There is no other way except this phenomenon becomes severe. 들어오세요, 여러분. Welcome. 이게 3번 문장이지만 2번은 우리 안 했습니다, 아직. 이해하시나요? 다시 한번 해볼게요. If in this situation LG Electronic ends up withdrawing smartphone business, it's the structure where there is no way except Samsung electronic strain phenomenon becomes severe. What are they saying is LG Electronic has a market shares. Samsung Electronic has a market shares. Simply, LG stops making phones. Then their customer will go to where? To Samsung. 그쵸? Simple logic. 그러면 this one was also complicated, but number 2 was way more complicated, right? So are you guys ready? 준비됐습니까? 5번은 진짜 쉬운데 마지막에 그냥 둘게요. 2번 준비됐습니까? 어려워 보일지라도 솔직히 그렇게 어렵지 않아요, 사실. 어려워 보일지라도 그렇게 어렵지 않아요. 무슨 말인지 알죠? 2번 문장으로 갈게요. 이거는 바로 전에 있었습니다. 바로 전 문장. 이거 보이시죠? Li is associated to Chinese symbol. I think Li, I have to really look into the symbol itself. I think it has the meaning of a way. Li. It could be logic or way. Li. 그러면 읽어볼게요. 지난해 국내 휴대폰 시장 점유율은 삼성전자가 25%로 압도적인 1위를 질주하고 애플과 LG전자가 각각 21%와 13%의 점유율로 1위와 격차 큰 2, 3위를 차지했다. 지난해 국내 휴대폰 시장 점유율은 삼성전자가 65%로 압도적인 1위를 질주하고 애플과 LG전자가 각각 21%와 13%의 점유율로 1위와 격차 큰 2, 3위를 차지했다. Pop quiz, because we have a lot of numbers here. Okay? 65%. They're talking about market share percentage. 65%는 who is associated to? Which company is associated to? 65%. 삼성전자예요. 21% which company is it related to? 애플입니다. 애플. 13%는 LG. 사실은 저 이거 문장 읽고 좀 놀랐어요. 왜냐면 제가 한국에 살았을 때는 애플 쓴 사람이 한 명도 없어요. 그게 벌써 한 12년 전 정도죠. 근데 미국이나 다른 나라에서는 애플 컴퓨터를 사용하는 데가 많았잖아요. 근데 한국에는 애플 컴퓨터를 제가 직접 본 적이 없는 것 같아요. 노트북도 그렇고 그냥 일반 데스크탑도 그렇고 certainly 핸드폰은 못 봤던 것 같아요. 근데 지금 이거를 보니까 애플이 LG보다 더 인기가 좋아요. 지금 현재. 무슨 말인지 알겠어요? Apple is more popular than LG in South Korea, so I was a bit surprised. So people are getting more Apple phones. I think it also comes down to the psychology. Because South Korean people really like the high-end brand. They want to have high-end brand. It's one way to kind of, show off. Oh, I got my Apple phone. It's more expensive. So I think the Samsung and LG are more of the competitors because their price range is very similar than LG. 오케이. 그러면 주요 동사가 뭡니까? 차지했다 이거 보이시나요? 차지했다. So this is in the past tense, 과거형입니다. 차지하다. 찾아보세요. 이거는 possess. Possess or take up space. But in this case, possess what? We're gonna get to it. Maybe we'll get to it after. Okay, so while looking into 동사, is there conjunction? Maybe we want to break it into couple sentences, like clauses here. Because it's such a long sentence, there must be a conjunction. Occupy, 그것도 좋아요. 차지하다. go 보이십니까? 여기 go. This is and conjunction. 그러면 이게 동사죠? 질주하다. 질주하다 들어보셨어요? 이거는 run fast. Run fast. It could be used for somebody who's running really fast, or it could be car is driving fast, like racing, 질주하다. But here is racing as in what? Market share competition. Okay, so this is raced. Okay, race. To race. 그러면 이제 주어를 찾아볼게요. 은는 이가 보이시나요? 은. 국내 휴대폰 시장 점유율. Like you probably noticed, when you read Korean articles, a lot of compound nouns. Noun, 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 noun. Compound nouns. Domestic, cell phone, we already gone through. 시장, market. 점유율, think of it as a share here. Okay? Domestic cell phone market share. Oh, and we have another subject right after. Samsung Electronic. 그쵸? 그리고 여기 또 있습니다. 애플과 LG전자가 another subject. 애플과 이거 뭔지 아세요? 과. I have a video about this. We have two different types of and in this one sentence. 고, verb root, 고, this is connecting verb to another clause, clause to clause, 고. And here, 과, this is also and, noun to noun. 알겠습니까? Apple and LG Electronic. 각각. 이게 each. each. 네? 21%와. This is also and. 프로. Right? 로 ends with a vowel. That's why we use 와. 애플 ends with a consonant. 보이시죠? 그래서 과를 씁니다. consonant 과, vowel 와. 알겠죠? This is and. 에, possessive, apostrophe s. 점유율, 이거 이미 했죠? share as. 그쵸? 1위 와. 또 와가 있나요? 와, 또 있습니다. 1위. 1위가 뭔지 아세요? We means ranking here. We has a meaning of above, right? 위에. Normally we're gonna add the location particle. 네, 제 책은 책상 위에 있어요. My book is on top of the desk. 제 펜은 머리 위에 있어요. On top of my head. But here, we means what? Ranking. Ranking number 1. 네, 그렇죠. First position. 격차 큰 2, 3위를 차지했다. 그러면 object 한번 찾아볼까요? I think we ended up doing some each word here. I didn't mean to. Object 1위를 2, 3위. 급도 also ranking이에요. 급도 ranking인데 for competition wise you're gonna use we. 급 can be ranking, but it's more like level. So if you take a test, 1급, first level. So it could be ranking or level, but we is like the ranking as in competition. 가요 순위 차트 1위. 그거는 K-pop ranking 1위. Number 1. Okay? 그러면 we are missing a few words here. Let's get to it. 지난해가 뭡니까? 지난해. Past year. That means last year. 지난해, last year. Okay. And this one. 압도적인. 이거 보이시나요? 압도적이다. Describing 1위. 이게 verb adjective. 찾아보세요. 압도적이다. Normally we call K-pop as 가요. But that means pop song for Korean. But here is the thing. Korean people normally, maybe these days they say K-pop, but before, when we are listening to Korean music, we used to call it 가요 as K-pop. 그리고 팝송. 팝송. This is what? Popular song. 팝송. 한국인이 팝송이라고 하면은 뭔지 알아요? 외국 노래예요. 외국 노래. Western music. 네, 압도적이다. To be overwhelming. To be overwhelming. Overwhelming. Number 1. 그러면 only this part is missing. 격차 큰. 격차 is gap. Gap. 크다 is a verb adjective describing number 2 and 3. This becomes adjective clause. Gap is big. Number 2, number 3, where the gap is big. Actually, I'm going to include this part with number 1. So don't worry about this one. Okay, so I think so far, oh my god, I was going to use eraser, but it was going to erase everything we've done here. I wonder if I can erase this part. Okay, good. 그러면 네, 맞아요. 가요가 K-pop, 팝송이 웨스턴 뮤직. 네, 한국인들한테 그렇습니다. 근데 요즘은 한국인들도 K-pop이라고 많이 해요. 왜냐면 하도 외국인들이 K-pop을 좋아하니까 K-pop 막 이러잖아요. 그래서 한국인들도 가요를 K-pop이라고 합니다. So, last year, domestic cell phone market share. So, we have two subjects here. So, we're gonna have to see this as comparison particle, as for. As for the domestic cell phone market share, Samsung Electronic raised overwhelming number 1 ranking at 65%. And Apple and LG Electronic possessed number 2 and 3 ranking, where the gap was big with number 1 as the share of each 21% which is Apple, 13% which is LG. So 65 is way higher than 21 and 13. 맞죠? 그러면 65 플러스 21, 그 다음에 플러스 13, 99. 대단하네요. 3개의 회사가 99%를 장악해요. Only 3 companies take up 99% of share. Probably 1% goes where? Probably Chinese, the cell phone company, maybe Huawei or other Chinese cell phone companies. 신기합니다. 이거 아셨나요? Can you guys type which phone brand do you guys use currently? Do you use Samsung, Apple, LG, or any other phone? Chinese phone. This is statistics among South Korean. 저는 이미 말했죠? 저는 삼성을 씁니다. 삼성. 근데 외국에서는 여기 제가 사는 곳이 캐나다인데 여기서는 애플을 많이 선호하더라고요. People prefer Apple a lot in Western countries. I found. But still, Samsung is also kind of like one of the top company that people use. Okay, so we got Huawei, Samsung, Apple. 그렇군요. Diverse. Very diverse. 그렇습니다. 그러면 괜찮죠? 2번 괜찮았어요, 사실. 이거. 길었지만 이해하시죠? 이해하십니까? 그러면 마지막 문장으로 갈게요. 잘하고 계십니다. 아주. 마지막은 쉬워요. 쉽습니다. 4번. Just to give you guys the workflow here, because we kind of jumped around the number. Since Samsung takes up 65% and LG takes up 13%, but if LG stops making phones, then 쏠림 현상, 아까 말했죠? Strain phenomena. The LG share will probably go to Samsung, but it's just an assumption. It may not be actually, because LG's product price is lower than Samsung. So maybe Huawei, other companies might take up some of the LG shares, but the experts here in this article, they think that Samsung will have monopoly, more power to them. But who knows? Maybe Apple will have more power too. Who knows? 그러면 마지막 문장입니다. 이거는 어디 있습니까? 애플이 보급형인 여기 있습니다. 이거 보이시나요? 애플이 보급형 제품인 아이폰 SE 시리즈를 내놓고 있지만 가격이 저렴하지 않다. 애플이 보급형 제품인 아이폰 SE 시리즈를 내놓고 있지만 가격이 저렴하지 않다. 다시요, 천천히. 애플이 보급형 제품인 아이폰 SE 시리즈를 내놓고 있지만 가격이 저렴하지 않다. 그럼 동사가 뭡니까, 여기? 동사 at the end of the sentence. 그쵸? 마지막에 있죠? 이거라고 생각할 수도 있겠지만 사실은 이거는 negation. verb negation. 저렴하지 않다. 그 저렴하다가 동사죠, 여기. 이게 무슨 뜻인지 알아요? 저렴하다. equivalent. 싸다. 싸다가 뭔지 압니까? cheap. be cheap. The opposite. 비싸다. To be expensive. 그쵸? 저렴하다가 비슷한 단어예요. 싸다랑. 그런데 normally I wouldn't associate 저렴하다 to be cheap. How about I associate it with affordable? 저렴해요. To be affordable. It's a slightly different nuance, right? 그러면 we found one verb. Is there another verb? Maybe possibly a conjunction just like before? Any conjunction do you see? 찍어보세요. Take a guess. 만 이거 보이시나요? 지만. 지만 이거는 verb conjunction but. but입니다. 그러면 동사가 바로 앞에 있어야 되는데 이게 있다가 사실은 고 있다 grammar예요. grammar. 문법 ing. progressive tense. 그쵸? 그렇기 때문에 내놓다 이게 동사입니다. 내놓다. To place out. 내놓다. Or you can think of it as a take out or display. 높임말이라고 생각하진 않아요. Like I said, just meaning, nuance is a bit different. But it doesn't mean 저렴하다 is more elevated. 그러면 동사를 찾았고 이제 주어를 찾아봅시다. 은는 이가 애플이 subject, 가격이 price. 되게 간단한 것 같아요, 지금은. 그러면 목적어가 보이시나요? 을을 iPhone SE series. 이게 series. Same as English. Apple what? This is missing here. How can we connect this one? 보급형 제품인 보급형 in dictionary it says entry product. entry type 제품이 product. 보급형 제품인 in이 뭐일 것 같아요? in 이게 verb adjective be verb 이다. 그렇다면 이게 adjective clause라는 거죠. Describing iPhone SE series. 저는 아이폰을 잘 몰라요. 레이첼이 아이폰 쓴다고 했죠. SE 시리즈가 entry product 맞아요? 사람들이 I don't know what to get. It's my first time buying iPhone. Would you recommend SE series? Not sure. Maybe that's what they're saying. SE is like it's not too expensive amongst the iPhone series, but there's something that you can try it on. 상품. 네, 상품도 맞아요. Product. But 품 is associated to Chinese symbol. So you may find that syllable 품 in many other words. So I cannot just say 품 comes from only that word, 상품. So you can look up 품, maybe look up 제품, 상품. figure out what Chinese symbols they're associated to. 아, 그래요? 레이첼 SE 뭔지 몰라요? 저도 몰라요. 오케이. Apple displays iPhone SE series that is the entry type product. But the price is not affordable. So what they're trying to get here is that even if LG stops making phone, their users won't buy Apple because Apple is really expensive. LG is not a competitor with Apple. I think that's what they're getting at. So the sentence wise, Apple displays or is displaying iPhone LG series, which is entry type product, but the price is not affordable. 이거는 좀 쉬웠죠? 이해하시나요? 질문 있으시면 지금 하세요. 질문이 없으시면 that's it for today's live streaming. Hopefully you learned something new here and try to spend some time. It's just me explaining to you, doesn't mean much for you to improve your Korean. Try to set aside maybe even 15 minutes, half an hour after the live streaming is over. Try to organize, okay? Just like me, I prepare the lesson. I spend time picking an article and prepare lesson. So for you as a student, as a learner, after live streaming is over, spend some time to organize and digest what you just learned so that it stays in your brain even longer. So try to make your own flashcards or make your vocab notes and grammar notes, whatever. So nota is place 내놓다. Place 내놓다 sounds more like out, in the open. 내놓다. Okay? Place out, take out. 내놓다. 그래요. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Thank you for spending the afternoon with me as always. And be happy and enjoy learning Korean. Then I see you next time. 반갑습니다. 안녕.